And bonjour, this is Bruno Larvol live in San Antonio for SABCS 2024 with Kim on Lunis. We're going to talk about SABCS and also how the CLIN platform can help you prepare before, during, and after SABCS. Kim is actually based in Greece, but is on premise here in San Antonio with us. We separated, otherwise our two microphones might interact with each other. Hey, Kimon, welcome to the podcast.
Good morning. How are you, Bruno?
I'm doing well. Before we talk about CLIN and how it can help for SABCS, I want to give people who are not maybe at SABCS a little bit of a tour. There is, I believe, about, what did we hear, about 20,000 people here? It's
No, a bit
no,
less.
10,000,
Yeah, less. Yeah,
10,000,
closer to
15,000.
10. Yeah, yeah,
All
10,
right.
10.
I've been known to exaggerate at times, but still, it's a high quality and a lot of people, a lot of buzz here. Less than yesterday, we had day 3 of SABCS. The exhibitor hall is going to open in an hour or so. So that's essentially our intro. And I'm going to give you a bit of a background on CLIN for those of the listeners who do not know the platform. And then, Kimon, I'm going to ask you to share your screen and give us a quick demo of how our data platform can help prepare for SABCS. In particular, get all the data disclosed at SABCS. So CLIN is our flagship product. For those of you who don't know LARVOL, we are a 20-year-old startup. We have 150 people, and we specialize in data, cancer, and AI, the intersection of the three. And obviously, we love purple. A CLIN, think about it as a Bloomberg of cancer data, or maybe a Wikipedia of cancer data. Every publicly known hazard ratio, response rate, outcome data, slides, posters, analyzed data is on the platform, as well as a reaction from a panel of 5,000 oncologists that we index from their conversation on X, previously known as Twitter. So with that intro, Kimon, I'll let you share your screen. I'll go on mute for a moment, and you can walk us through the first part of this, which is what do we know about SABCS on the CLIN platform?
Sounds great. So, hopefully you can see my screen now. Over here, we've got all of the conferences, but as we said, we're going to spend a bit more time at SABCS. As you can see, us has now started filling up because it happened a few days ago. So let's go a bit deeper. So here we are at the landing page. You can see all the sentiment coming out of SABCS so far. This is getting updated as we speak, so more information is coming through. Let me open this up a bit further so you have a better idea of what we're looking at. Quite a few disclosures have received mostly positive feedback, as you can see, very few negative ones. You know what, let's dive a bit deeper. Olympia has been discussed quite a bit over the past few days. So over here, we can have a closer look onto the comments that some of the KOLs have made regarding Olympia. And as you can see, it's mostly positive all around. I'm just gonna go a bit further down because I'm sure so something negative as well. This is great. You can see that there is practice impacting information coming out of this disclosure. I'm sure I saw a negative one. Maybe it was just me. No, there are no negative ones. So here is the initial graph, but if you wanted to go a bit deeper than that, by clicking over here, you can start seeing all the data that we've pulled historically related to Olympia. So I'm going to go all the way down. So back from 2017, where the first poster was displayed at ESMO, back up to the most recent findings that were presented here at SABCS. You can see the little new sign over here. On top of that, you can have, again, you can see the Twitter reactions, you can see some of the images that came out of it, but let me jump over a few steps. One thing we also have added is next to each KOL the flag where it shows you which country they're coming from, which apparently has been quite useful for a lot of our customers. Next, I'll go to the landscapes where you can see some comparisons of Olympia against other trials. Quite a good amount of information over here. And one thing I wanted to point it out, and Bruno, I like the way you put it. Over here, it's a bit like Amazon, where other people that bought this also bought this. So a way of us showing you what else you might be interested in. So trials that could be relevant, that are relevant to Olympia, can be found over here. So if you scroll down, you'll see other trials that have findings relevant to Olympia. I'll go to next to show you very quickly the Kaplan-Meier plots that come out of this. Again, you can choose what is being added to this, just so you can make your own graph. And if you need to download it, there is a download option over here. Next to the forest plots, again, quite a crowded graph. You can select or deselect whatever is of less interest. Now, I think quite a few people are paying attention to what comes in here, where the adverse effects are stated. And finally, I'll jump over to the milestones, where you can see the progression and what is expected to come out of all of this. I don't know if there is anything, Bruno, you want me to go back to, so we can dive a bit deeper.
And let's go back to the main page for SABCS. And in particular, I'm fascinated by how much one trial captured more than half of the buzz of the whole conference. It seems that there's one trial that is the most important one. It's Amber 3. So let's go through the commentary, see if you can see any comments of notes, in particular, any comments that points to practice changing, practice informing, or maybe any negative comments.
Oh, there you go. So the negative comment. Okay, yeah, I think it's good to have the negative one as well. It's good to have all of opinions here.
One thing I like to remind people that LARVOL CLIN is not about our opinion. And essentially, we don't have opinion, or well, we have opinion, but we don't want to. We're not in the business of sharing it. What we want to do is give or expand the voice of these 5,000 oncologists. So when someone says something positive, negative, neutral, we capture it systematically so that the overall picture that the user is getting is really the voice of oncologists in general. Obviously, there's a bias, which is that it's a voice of the oncologists which are active on X. And so, but it's still quite of a, it's still, we think the only quantitative measure of the impact of that disclosure. Other people are providing their opinion. We provide a measure of the impact through the prism of X. Now, there is, of course, one trial that takes most of the buzz, and then after that, I think you have about 7 or so trials that are also quite buzzy, and then a long tail of trials that have less impact.
Yeah, and I think we are going to see more information coming in as the conference progresses. I think it's still a bit early days, but yeah, you can see that the buzz is definitely located at the top side of those trials.
I can see one trial there, came on in the middle, that has the biggest percentage of practice impacting commentary. So let's look at that one, right? That's Padma, right? So Padma has a lot of commentary. Now, of course, in some cases, it was already known for some of these trials that they were impactful. So perhaps, I don't know if that's okay with Padma, but certainly everybody considers, or many people considers, that this is informing or impacting the standard of care.
Yeah.
The other comment I want to make is that these analytics are available before, during, and after the conference. So before, especially in the largest conferences, when the abstract have been released, there's already a lot of buzz and anticipation being built just based on the abstracts. And so as our customers are getting ready to go to a conference, they already have a sense of what's the highest buzz. And that's helpful to help them determine how to organize their day and what are the sessions, the presentation or the poster they should not miss. And then at the conference events, you can see some of these that start to really trend and become very important. So perhaps Amber 3 initially was not the number one trending or high buzz disclosures, but after a while it became clear that this is the most important information that came uh, out of SABCS. And then at the end of the conference, everybody had the chance to digest the data, and then that final buzz level is a nice way to recap how the event went. So one of the things we're doing with some of our customers that we, at the end of every day, we send them a recap of the day with what is the updated buzz level of all of the disclosures at that conference, but also what are the key reactions from digital opinion leaders about that conference, about the trending disclosures. So that's also very valuable. Um, I'd like to do something. People, of course, listening to this podcast are probably interested mostly in breast, but maybe they're interested in CLIN in general. Why don't you go to ASH, which you and I just were at a few days ago, and let's look at the ASH data. So of course, ASH had a lot more people, a lot more disclosures, and a lot more reactions on X. And you can see here the main reaction, as opposed to SABCS, it's a little bit smoother, right? There is two that are
Yeah.
higher, and then a lot that are medium level of buzz, and a long tail of still, active discussions about other data that have been disclosed. So that's essentially it. We're getting toward the end of our podcast. We call it Building Public because we love to disclose and to present what we're working on sometime, even when it's not quite finished. For example, you can see a new feature that we added here is we add the logo of each of the main asset, main disclosures on the left of the bar graph. So you can recognize the company that these trials have been sponsored by. Some of them, of course, don't have an industry sponsor, so they don't have that logo. So I want to see if you have any final comments or points you'd like to make, Kimon, and then we'll close this call today.
I think we should take a screenshot of SABCS and the buzz at the moment to see how much it will change for the next few days. Because we usually see quite a bit of a change from day one to day two and three and four. So yeah, that'd be interesting.
That's true. I give you one more view of the lobby here before the opening of the door of the exhibitor hall. All right. So, Kimon, thank you very much for joining us,
Thank you.
and everybody
Thank you, Bruno.
listening, thank you. Join us next week. Next week we might talk about Ash again when we have the final data, or maybe other topics as well. So, thank you very much. Same
Sounds
time
good.
next week.